Every once in a while, we push hard enough that the light breaks through the clouds. And a world beyond the war glimmers, just out of reach. The war is the world, and the world is the war. But behind every gun sight is a human being. We are those people. We are the jaded, we are the naive, we are the honorable, and the criminal. We are the bound for legend and the lost to history. We are the knights of the sky, the ghosts in the desert, and the rats in the mud. These are our stories.
Hello and welcome to the Suburban Sloth Show. In today's video I'll be taking a look at the latest game in the Battlefield series of games, Battlefield 1. On the offset, I'll be honest with you, multiplayer shooters tend not to be my favourite game of choice, and I've had little experience with the Battlefield franchise of games, my closest point of reference being last year's Star Wars Battlefront game, in terms of gameplay and scope. So this video isn't going to be a comprehensive review covering all aspects of the game, but more of a first impressions and casual reaction to it. Let's start with a single player. Instead of being a standard narrative experience, Battlefield 1 goes for more of a segmented approach, there being 6 campaigns instead of just one, covering a diverse range of locations and gameplay types. The first of these campaigns being Storm of Steel, a prologue that puts you in the position of multiple members of the Harlem Hellfighters in a horrendous battle that really gets the feeling of futility across to the player. Each of the 6 campaigns differ in size and tone, each feeling like a different type of war movie, like Through Mud and Blood feeling like a claustrophobic tank movie, and Friends in High Places feeling like a blockbuster popcorn flick. The one benefit to this type of structure is that if you don't enjoy one narrative campaign, you can quickly switch to the one that is more your style. The main negative of this is that none of the characters are given time to be really fleshed out. Ironically, the last surviving soldier in the prologue has the most human and arresting moment for me. But overall, I enjoyed my time with the single player, and I found it a perfect tutorial for the main purpose most people bought this game for, an awesome multiplayer experience. So, without further ado, let's get onto the multiplayer experience. There are an abundance of modes catering for grand scale battles and more intimate skirmishes, Conquest being an absolute standout, really giving the player the epic feeling of being in a mass squad of troops pushing the front line forward, with the inclusion of vehicles from tanks, planes, boats to gigantic war zeppelins. At first, being new to this style of team-based gameplay, I felt a tad inconsequential to the overall result, but as time went on I started to understand the different mindset to that of its rival games like Call of Duty, where it is squad-based tactics as opposed to a Rambo style of badassery that COD utilises. There are loot box style of unlockables in the form of weapon skins. At first I thought they'd be unlocked through the dreaded microtransactions, but I was pleasantly surprised that there was no option to buy these crates and the skins are completely cosmetic and do not affect gameplay. Again, these could have well just been unlockable through levelling up like the weapons, and avoid the whole slot machine mentality a lot of games use these days. But again, for me, a casual player, that seemed all fine for the most part. I've talked this much and I haven't mentioned the two most alluring parts of this game, the graphics and the gameplay. Graphically speaking, Battlefield 1 is stunning. I'm playing the PlayStation 4 version of the game, and even without the advantage of an amazing PC graphics card, Battlefield stands out from the rest. With incredible lighting, textures, particle effects and character animations, it's a pleasure to look at, and it follows in DICE's track record of making beautiful looking games. That being said, the most important part of the game is the way in which it plays. The gameplay. The gameplay feels right. If it ain't broke, why fix it seems to be the mentality of Battlefield. It just feels like a really good first-person shooter. Now I'm sure it'd probably play even better on the PC, but I had no troubles on the PS4. One thing I will say has improved from DICE's previous game, Battlefront, is the vehicle controls. They feel great, incredibly responsive and natural. Sound design has always been an important aspect of a war game, and DICE once again proves they are the masters of it. The foley is punchy and impactful, the soundtrack is ambient and inspirational. Similar to Battlefront, the sound design is a definite standout. So in conclusion, I had a really great time with Battlefield 1. If you're into first-person shooters, it's a must-buy, and if you're a casual like me, it's definitely worth a play. For me, it's a definite improvement over Battlefront in terms of the amount of content at launch, and hopefully EA will continue to improve their business practices, although it still has a season pass option that costs the same as the game itself. But I guess that's just the norm in gaming these days, sadly. Thanks for watching my review. Make sure to give this video a like, and maybe subscribe if you'd like to see more like it. I'll catch you on the next Suburban Sloth show. Cheers.